Many thanks for staying with us. It's still the conversation, and on this segment, we'll be focusing on Lagos politics and progressive ideology, a crucial subject in the ever-evolving landscape of Nigeria's economic and political hub. Lagos, with its fast-paced development and dynamic governance, has remained a model for other states. So today, joining us to have this conversation, Dr. Murtala Seriki, the APC youth leader in Lagos State, will be having this conversation with us. He is a passionate advocate for youth inclusion in governance. He has also played a critical role in mobilizing young voices and promoting policies that foster sustainable development. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you.
Firstly, let's look at Lagos and how it has played a strong role of the APC. What do you think has taken Lagos State this far in upholding or maintaining dominance of the party in the state?
So thank you very much, and good morning to the viewers. So Lagos as the center of excellence, right since inception, even before democracy in 1999, has always been the home base for the progressive, And then one thing that has been working for
the word progressive, which has transitioned from
ACN, so no, actually even transitioned from AD to AC.
Okay.
ACN and then to APC that we have today. And then if you watch out in all of those places, it's still same party system, but for some logistical reasons, keeps changing name to where it is today. So, and that's why the progressive itself, started from that 1999. And I'm trying to bring it back that even before 1999, we've had people who are in NNDP and who are in action group, that had been led by Baba Awolowo, our leader, leads Awolowo, before now. All of those same set of people are still the one in system, just transiting from one generations to another. So for us in Lagos, the progressive seems like the only political party that exists amongst us, and the only reason why it's been like that for a long time is because that there's an existing system, there's an existing structure, because that's the party that understands who Lagosians are and what they really want, and then meeting the need of the people at when it requires most. And that's the only reason why that party, that's progressive is still in
I like
system.
the fact that you've mentioned progressive over and over again. So how would you describe progressive in progressive governance here in Lagos context?
Oh, so thank you so much. So progressive governance in Lagos, this is not me saying why Lagos continue to be the best state in Nigeria, why it's the economic hub of Nigeria, So, this is not blowing the trumpet, but it's the largest economy in the whole of West Africa and third in the whole of Africa. It's because of the plans, like I said, the system that has been put in place that is working on its own, irrespective of anybody who is coming into governance, that the party, the progressive nature of that party, thinking for the people and making sure that there is a required infrastructural development, educational need, adequate security, good road and infrastructure and what have you, that is the progressiveness that we have in Lagos. And that is why we can say that, it's the only party that was, for now, that will still continue to be dominating the space in Lagos. Thank you.
All right. So you are the APC youth leader for Lagos State. Now, if you were to access the participation of young people in Lagos when it has to do with getting involved in governance, getting actively involved in governance, what would you say? How would you rate it? And
so, yes, if I want to rate it on my own rating, I would say it's not enough. Like, we still need more young people to come into politics, right? But if I'm going to compare it with the level of young people involvement in politics, in governance, in appointment, elections, and what have you, Lagos compared to other states, then Lagos is far doing very well. We have a good percentage of members of our assemblies that are young people, less than 40. We have good percentage of chairman of local government and LCDs in Lagos. About 40% of them are less than 40 years of age as at resumption of being the chairman of that local government. It tells me that, the progressive consider young people in appointments, in elections, and what have you. You know, but do I want it to stay at 40? No, maybe I want it to stay at 60. You know, so I mean that's why I would say yes, maybe it's not enough. But if you are going to compare it, you know, on a comparative analysis with what's happening in other states, other climes in Nigeria, you know, I mean, I would say Lagos right now is still doing a lot better compared to what we have in other places.
So for bringing it here, it is not enough.
Yeah,
so what do you think are the hindrances, the things that are hindering these young people from getting actively involved?
Okay, so one thing we must do is always provide opportunity for young people to try. You know, currently, I can tell you that the forthcoming local government election now, which will happen in another 4 or 5 months, you know, that we all Lagosians are anticipating. We have seen series of a whole lot of young people to contest in that election. And what is the party doing to make sure that woo young people to come and contest? It's about the prices of form. So, I mean, this is me just trying to let the cat out of the bag before the time, Harry. Okay. You know, so in the purchase of form, what the party is doing right now is to give a 50% discount to any young persons that is less than 40 years of age. It's also to consider women, you know, by giving them 50% discount in any of the categories of forms, either the chairman of the local government or that of the councillorship, you know. So these are ways of trying to, and for all you care is 0%, you know, for anybody who is PWD, people living with disabilities and are interested in governance and wanting to get involved, inclusive. So that tells you that the party itself, you know, is progressive, its nature is inclusive, understands that young people or women might sometimes not be able to afford all of these financial burdens that comes with wanting to get involved in politics, and are giving some level of discounts just to encourage young people to join the party, you know, and then be actively involved.
So aside finance, what are other major...
So other major things is now to put young people in focal places where it's going to attract young people to come engage in politics. You know, for instance, now that is why some core ministries like Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Transportation, where we have a whole lot of young people actively engaged in it, are now being led by young people, you know, just to attract them, and of course people who understand the language of which young people are speaking, you know, basically something around that.
Still talking about governance and of course leadership, you were once the Youth Parliament Speaker about 6 years ago, and something happened, you know, at the Lagos State House of Assembly recently, you know, and people like you still look up to political leaders for direction. Do you think incidents like that, you know, that happened recently, you know, sends the right message about leadership? And how can, you know, such things be, can it be avoided or better managed?
Okay, so thank you. I don't know what you meant and why you are saying that, whether something like that should happen. For me, what has happened in Lagos State House of Assembly is pure democracy, where people, yes, I've been Speaker of Lagos State Youth Parliament about 5-6 years ago, you know, so young people who are members of Lagos House of Assembly woke up one morning and say that they are not comfortable that the Speaker continue to be their Speaker, and decided to remove him. And later, they reconsider their decision and say, okay, for some reasons that's best known to them again, they are coming back to say that he should continue as the Speaker. So wherever how we are saying it, I mean, for me, it's pure democracy. I mean, you would have seen all of actions that took place in those time, you know, where we have Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa being impeached, and they themselves still come back at some point, maybe after 50 days, I think, or 49 days, came back to say that they want Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa back as the Speaker, you know. So for me, I mean, it is politics, it is democracy, and for some reasons, that is why we would always have guidance of the party decision being supreme and leaders and what have you. So best known to them in trying to make sure that we have government across the whole looks and cranny of Lagos, how to also make people comfortable across the senatorial districts and what have you, you know. So that's why that is taking place. So however people say it on the other side, I don't know, but then that's democracy play.
Okay. So if we're talking about politics, we cannot leave out talking about godfatherism. Now, some people are of the opinion that people have different opinions about godfatherism. So I also want to, you know, you to share your thoughts on godfatherism in politics.
In Lagos politics.
In Lagos politics.
Okay.
Let's be specific.
Lagos politics. So, how well do you think this has helped or impacted on Lagos politics?
Okay, so thank you very much. You are correct that we cannot, or we will find it difficult to separate godfather.
Mentorship.
So no, whatever you like to call it is fine. I mean, most important is that I understand what you're saying. You know, so there's no way you can really separate it. Where just like we are here right now, so a new income, not income now, a new employee, you know, who is a level 8, who just joined LTV8, would come seek for your opinion, how it's work here, what time to get to work, how best to dress, how best to be a best TV presenter, you know, so automatically you become a godmother. But unfortunately, people try most of the time not to understand what it really means. For me, it's mentorship. We cannot take it out of governance because we have young people or new set of people who are coming into governance, and some people who understand how it works, you know, be there for guidance. So most of the time, the role of that thing you call godfatherism, you call mentorship or what have you, most of the time is trying to guide people right.
It's a critical role.
You know, and it is a critical role that cannot be removed from politics. And that is why Lagos is still thriving till today. So if you ask me, I mean.
Okay, I'll let that one die for now. Now, okay, let's look at progressive policies here in Lagos. Can you highlight some of the specific policies that have shaped Lagos in recent years?
So a whole number of them, you know, so so we start from transportation, you know. So Lagos being the first state in Nigeria at that time that produced BRT for people to can transport from one point to another, you know, that's on transportation, you know, also trying to put in last mile and trying to enforce them to make sure that the gridlocks and what have you in Lagos, we continue to have a smooth drive from one location to another. So you want to talk about the scholarship for students. So it is in Lagos where if you are an indigenous of Lagos, it would give you opportunity that you can get your school fees paid if your parents cannot afford to pay it. And it's still in existence till now. These are progressive ideology. It is also in Lagos that we have the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, you know, LST, where we have young people who have one or two challenges in setting up their businesses and need support, you know, for them to start up this little business. It is also in this Lagos that in the whole, started it during the time of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our current president of Nigeria, where he decided that irrespective of the daughter of who you are, whether your mother is a pepper seller or is the bank manager, I have already paid for your work, you know. Until now, that policy is still in existence, still as we speak. You know, these are some of the progressive ideologies that is making Lagos to continue to be Lagos that we are today. And of course, a whole lot of them that, I mean, we might not be able to finish in this one section.
They say the reward for hard work is
more work.
So improvements, there's still room for
of course, improvement.
So what policies or what more would you like to see, you know, to better place Lagos in that space where it should be?
Yeah, so policies that we need, you know, to better place Lagos more where it is. I don't know, maybe on the top of my head now, I would think that we have a good communication system. Just for instance, now the case of House of Assembly, you know, there have been a lot of rumor going on here and there. Oh, it is one person saying that they should not they should go and return the person's back. It is one person saying this and that, which sometimes might not be correct. But unfortunately, there haven't been anybody, you know, from the party or from the government or from even the House of Assembly itself to come and explain to the society what exactly happened, why they chose to stick to the decision earlier and why they decided to change their mind, you know, in doing it the other way around. So I think that our government, you know, progressive, needs to communicate more to the people. We assume that a lot of time people understand us. We assume that people know what we are talking about. people can see what we are doing, you know. And we still live on that aura as the best state in Nigeria, you know, even though sometimes now we have seen that. Yeah, I know. And even though right now, you know, there are some competitions here and there, you know, trying to see that, oh, we can do. But Lagos has been the model that everybody wants to come from across the nook and cranny of Nigeria, want to copy one system or the other, you know. So I just think that, of course, as citizens, we are not there yet. We will continue to, you know, transcend from one point to another. And then Lagos will be a better place for all of us.
Okay, I'm still talking about policies, you know. Which ones do you think should be prioritized, you know, to ensure that Lagos remains a model for progressive governance? So which of those policies?
So for me, I think will be infrastructural development, you know. So you know that there are still some places in Lagos right now that is not as well as developed as Ikeja. Yes, it's true. It's the basic fact, and we all know that already. So there are still some places that's not as developed as what we have in Ikeja. So that we'll be able to also let that excellence go across board, you know, in the city of Lagos, everywhere in the nook and crannies in Lagos. So that's why I'm saying that we need to start developing all of those our extreme end, you know, like what we have in Badagry now, you know, trying to make sure that we have better roads across all the cities, you know. I think that would help us, and then we reduce the tension. We reduce the level of everybody want to come to the central part of Lagos. So for me, it's infrastructural development, so that you are sure that even if you are in Badagry or you are in Ekpe or you are in Ikorodu, you are as well as fine as somebody who is in Ikeja and somebody who is in Victoria.
What about agriculture? You know, this agripreneurship policy that was set up by the Lagos State government for young. What I call them farmers. Oh yeah,
the commissioner for Agri, you know, which was of course, which was a very young lady, has made significant impact in trying to draw the attention of young people to agriculture, and that's why she came up with that idea of agripreneurship, where she'd encourage young people who have any idea in agriculture, brings them closer, nurture them, and give them funding to go and start up something that they can, you know, make available for their society. Yeah, are we there yet? No, because I know that Lagos is not producing all what it's eating, you know. So maybe another way to also look at is to give opportunities for, encourage a whole lot of people or young people to get into agriculture, where we can be sustainable enough, you know, to serve ourselves, you know, to feed ourselves as a state.
All right. How important is it for young people to really get involved actively? Because we find ourselves in a time where people are more, or should I say, the young people are more active on social media. Everything is done on social media, but when it is time, everything is on social media. But when it's time for you to come out, like for instance, to cast your votes, you don't see them. So how important is it for young people to, I want you to speak to the minds of the young people today.
So thank you very much. It's actually very important. We understand even in progressive that people now make their inferences and judgment and opinion, form opinion, make inferences, judge the government of itself and at the level of the social media. You know, somebody just sits at the corner of their room and not wanting to be involved. What are we doing as a nation or as a state, you know, trying to get young people involved in that governance is to encourage them that yes, you can make all of this, because we're in a social media world where you can have almost everything you want, earn your salary, get your house, all on social media, and then you don't really need to interface with people. But we are not there yet as a state where you have to do all of that and not come out, you know. So what we are trying to encourage young people is that yes, for every opportunity that is available, you know, is centered around trying to encourage them. Right now we are trying to do a social drive where we are bringing young people to get them registered for their PVC. We know that a couple of people just got into 18 maybe last year, last month, and what have you. And there's a conversation ongoing on right now with INEC, you know, to drive a PVC sensitization where young people can have access to all of this. Yes, we will still have to find a way to collaborate, to meet them at halfway, you know. So not like every young person have time to be on the street or be in the polling booth or do other stuff that we do in political space and not getting them involved. Yeah, not them not being ready to join us, but we will meet them halfway and see a way to encourage those young people, to be actively involved in governance and in politics. That's why our party, the APC itself, is always trying at every opportunity available, to bring young people either in tech, in agriculture, just opportunity for them to come closer to the government, and then we can teach them better how to operate, because whether we like it or not, we are the partners today and the owner of tomorrow.
Okay. The issue of trust is a major challenge that youth, Nigerians in general, and especially the youth, have in today's government. As a youth leader here in Lagos, what are you doing to ensure young Nigerians start to trust governments, especially in Lagos? There was an episode that happened yesterday over the weekend between Mr. Macaroni and Mr. Governor, and are you aware of it?
No, yeah.
You're not aware. Okay, so there's this major challenge of trust between Nigerian youth, Lagos youth, and of course the government. What can be done as a youth leader?
So, in fairness, the issue of trust about citizens not trusting the government, it's high across everywhere in Nigeria, but we already know that in Lagos, even though that people find it difficult to believe, but when the government says this we will do, majority of the time it will happen. But people don't understand how government work. They want to say that, oh, today we want to renovate the whole of LTV8, and they want it happen today. They want LTV8 renovated today. No, it's not going to happen that way. It's still going to take a whole lot of processes. But one thing I know, the governor,
that process.
Yes, that's why when she was asking us about what do we think that we ought to do better, it's about educating the citizens of Lagos. It's about telling them how system works and how the government itself runs. So I think that the opportunity, for every opportunity that we have, is to always explain and educate our young people that this is how it works. It's not magic, it's not automatic. So people assume most of the time that, oh, once they say that the government says, oh, we are going to build you 3 universities, they want that university tomorrow. They want to start admission next year. It's not going to happen that way. It's going to take time to get it built. It's going to take time to get it accredited. It's going to take time to get lecturers. It's going to take time to do all of this. So I think the job of your job and everybody is to always educate Nigerians about all of these things. Sometimes we are all in a hurry as young people. We want the result almost immediately, but not understanding or ready to understand that some of these times it takes process.
Okay, where do you see Lagos politics or Lagos governance in the year 2030, 2035 under progressive leadership?
I see that, I can say it confidently, that in another 2030, you said 2025, the principles of progressive will be clearer to a whole lot of people.
How?
And then it's going to be a system that runs on its own, without the interference. Like we all know that in Lagos, it is only in Lagos that our elections are predictable.
So you believe that
where
will still be?
So most likely, I can tell you confidently that
it
will still be the dominant party still in Lagos, because this is a state that it is systematic. Something is working. Nobody changes a winning team for any reason. And the structure, the party, the progressive, has created a structure that makes it easier for people to always want to align or agree with the ideologies of the party, because we know how best to meet.
What are the ideologies of the APC?
Okay, very simple. It's meeting the people's need as when it requires, infrastructural development, security, education, eradication of poverty. So, and I know that when you have all of this in any place, people are ready to align with you.
Okay. So, do you have to go ahead? So, I'd like you to just drop a word for Lagos youths.
So, thank you very much for listening. And my word for Lagos youths is to continue to try as best as possible to be the best they can achieve.
be the best that you can achieve.
Right.
It doesn't sound convincing to you because your facial expression.
All right. No, don't look at my facial expression. Thank you so much, Dr. Murtala Seriki, APC Youth Leader, Lagos State. He has spoken extensively on Lagos politics and progressive ideology. Thank you so much for your time on the conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. The conversation continues after this. Stay with us.
Let the conversation continue.
Many thanks for staying with us. It's still the conversation, and our guest, Dr. Murtala Seriki, has shared, some insights into how progressive governance is shaping Lagos and the role of young leaders, and of course, the vision for the state's future.
And he said something, when I asked the question about youth getting actively involved,
He talked about some hindrances, which is usually funding comes first. Yeah.
But again, you can't just stay on your phone and be the judge and the jury, and you don't want to get involved when it's time for you to come out and participate. I mean, if you don't come out, I don't think you have a right to speak when things are not going on well. But it's a call for everyone to, come together. If we want it to work, then we have to come together to make it work.
We have to come together to make it work. Whether youth, whether
youth
negotiate, whether youth or old, everybody, should be involved. Abimbola, Ajibola, are you involved?
We are. We are involved in our own way, in our own space. And beyond just coming out to vote, what value do you attach to your votes? Is it worth 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira?
Or a loaf of bread?
Or a loaf of bread?
I was just going to ask, why do you think that partition for him was not convincing?
Okay, when I heard the partition, I thought I saw Joy's face, and it was like,
It's like, that's what we usually hear.
Yes, like, oh, we've heard that over and over again. Nothing has changed yet.
And of course, he needs to be taught how to be cajoled.
It's part of the art.
It's part of the grooming.
He has spoken. He has spoken. But like Ajibola said, everything has a prize. Everyone has a prize. Is your own prize a loaf of bread? Is your prize a pot of soup? Or is your prize securing your future?
Or is your prize a juicy appointment? So we are weighing our prices now.
Different levels.
Covers it all. If you get an appointment,
It's an avenue for you to come and contribute,
and do well.
make impact.
and then empower other people. So if that is, that one is sure now. That one is more or less like, okay, I have an avenue to contribute my quota to mission building and community development. And if you can do that, hey, why not? So it's not a case of if you cannot beat them, you join them. Let's do it together. So that we all can have the same mindset and we all can win together. So bring it on. Jibola, who has crossed carpets?
The former governor of Kaduna State is moving from APC to SDP.
He said he has resigned from the APC.
No wonder he has been visiting.
It's just making it official.
So finally,
But you said it now just before the breaking.
Yeah, it's just making it official.
He's now left the APC, he's now joins the SDP. So he needs to also find those who will be moving along to the SDP.
Was that the essence of yesterday's meeting?
Well,
Visits, visitations.
SDP has a structure. I hope it's not
And they will say no, and then you run back.
Okay. Let's see how this will pan out at the end of the day. That's our peace offering on the Monday edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. Many thanks for watching. By God's grace, 10 a.m. tomorrow will be another time to join the team on The Conversation. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Abimbola.
And I am Ajibola Ojeshola. Thanks for watching.
I am Adibimpe Omotayo.
I am Joy Olu. Enjoy the rest of your day.
It's been said about something new.
Our job is just to make you richer.
Only on Bet Naija.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. The Bet Naija Sports Show on LTV. It was a mistake me making this hairstyle. Like my hairdresser picked the color.
Nah, it's not possible.
And I love it.
Yeah, you
I don't love Chelsea. Oh my God. Cut!
Bet Naija. Reward for passion.
Available statistics show that more children die yearly in car crashes or end up with injuries that leave a mark on them forever. When vehicles are manufactured, the safety of the children are in the mind of the vehicle makers.
Every vehicle that's been produced these days, you will see that it has something called SRS, which is supplemental restraint system, which has to do with the airbag and the seat belt. Most of the vehicle we drive these days have
àwọn zogbe tó gbé tán sí àlọ́ kò jẹ́ dánúwàtọ́ gbọ̀n èwédòpógò bó sọ̀hẹ́ àmì klọ́tẹ̀hẹ́ máa sọ̀gbẹ́dọ́ sẹ́ngò gbanukúndòpó gbére tó Niger Delta sí àwájí. ògbẹ́ NAFDAC tán tó tó gbé hemẹ̀ kówúrẹ́ àmásìn hemape ganlẹ̀ ehe akọ́ tán sọ náírà liva kanwe ko ene 100 billion naira Ìbàdàn tó mẹ́ wẹ̀yẹ wúrẹ́ yété gbósọ́ ìmìíràn tó fi ọ yé mẹ́ kpó. Bọ̀dé gòtọ́ àyímátẹ̀gán àwọn rìntàn dókítà Ọbáfẹ́mi Hamzat kò bí ọ̀dọ̀ náà mẹ́lẹ́ pọ́ní tí àlọ́dọ́pọ̀ nánú kan yìí nídọ́pọ̀ àyímátẹ̀mítàn pọ́dọ̀ òtógbó mítàn bírèbù ẹ̀dọ̀ hóhe tó gbẹ̀nu ètò títò òpùrọ̀ Ramadan tán báyìí ẹnẹ òpùrọ̀ pọ̀tọ́nukún dòpótọ́ mọ̀nkàn tó òfin Alhaji Kafaru Olúwọlé Tinubu tán mẹ́. Náírà kwẹ́ tó gbó mítàn Nàìjíríà tán kó sọ́jà yìí tònú kan àkwẹ́ tó gòdò tán lẹ̀ tán sínú kan ró ẹ máa họ àkwẹ́ dé pópó ìbà tó gòdò kwẹ́ lẹ̀ tsẹ́tsẹ́. bọ́ọ̀lù hogbẹ́ Plateau United tán ho àtọ̀yé tán Abia United tán lẹ̀ kpó àgọ́dọ̀ kpó dòvọ́ kpó tó àìhún NPFL tán mẹ́ tó zàmẹ́ sọ.